the major thing that drew me to the film was because it was another opportunity to put a bomb under the male idea of dismissing women because they don't have penises. I mean, this film will place Jean Purdy in her rightful place in the history of the development of IVF. And that will be the first time. That will be for the first time. Her name is never mentioned, even in recent times.
We have a large audience of women who I think this will mean a great amount to. You know, Jean's story of how she wasn't really acknowledged and now is being, and also just the work that was done.
Yeah.
So something that really surprised me was actually how recent this all happened. I wondered if you could tell me if you remember at the time it being in the news or anything.
Yeah, I remember that I was aware of it. I don't remember anything else. My father used to say when I was a boy, he used to say, I wish I had a memory. And I used to think, how can you not have a memory? And now I know what he was talking about. So I don't remember the events much as they happened. I remember that Louise Brown was born and that there was a huge hullabaloo because it was revolutionary, do you know?
So you would say you remember more the revolutionary side of it rather than, you know, the negative hysteria that kind of surrounded.
I don't think, I may have been aware at the time, but I've erased it. One of the things that drew me, the major thing that drew me to the film was because it was another opportunity to put a bomb under the male idea of dismissing women because they don't have penises. And I've made another film called Their Finest, which was about one of the very first ever female screenwriters, which was in 1940. And as you say, it's very recent. It's all quite recent. It's like a civilization just got started. It's like women got the vote in 1926 or something. Homosexuality was made legal in this country in 1967. We got really serious about racism when George Floyd, regrettably, was tortured and killed. You know, it's like we're only just getting started. And there are forces trying to drag us backwards and manipulating us, manipulating people for their own ends. But I think this film, therefore, is timely and of value.
Absolutely. And what do you think, I mean, the work that these three pioneers did, how do you think that has now affected the way we speak about women's health and the way we're a bit more open about it, I suppose?
I don't know the answer to that, really. I hope that, this film will place Jean Purdy in her rightful place in the history of the development of IVF. And that will be the first time. That will be for the first time. Her name is never mentioned, even in recent times. I don't know how. I hope that it's part of the conversation and that it helps at some point, to, as I say, just to pull another brick out of that wall.
I hope so too, and I'm sure it definitely will. I wondered if there was anything you learnt whilst maybe doing research for this film or for your part that really shocked you about this story.
I was going to say that if you asked me what I'd learned, I could probably perform a cesarean if you were really in trouble, if it was really... There's only
we got anyone?
Well, there's a couple of incisions and then the rest of it is muscle. What shocked me really was the degree of opposition. It was just vicious, we do tend to panic every time there's a scientific or a medical development. And everybody was up in arms. The church came out against them. As you can see in the film, their families stopped talking to them. They were called Dr. Frankenstein. They were doing the work of the devil. And that's how the idea of IVF was introduced to the British public as a kind of tabloid scare, So the public could be forgiven for getting the wrong end of the stick. But when Louise Brown was born 6 years ago, people tend to, and she was, because they'd said that the babies would be deformed just in order to sell newspapers, and they would be mutants. So therefore, when Louise Brown was born, everybody had to calm down.